Standard deviation. In this video, you'll learn how to describe standard deviation as a measure of variability. Standard deviation measures how spread out the data values are from the mean. The higher the standard deviation, the more variability the data set has. Let's look at how to find the standard deviation with this set including the numbers 1, 2, 2, 4, and 6. First, we'll need to find the mean of the data. So we'll add up all of our numbers, giving us a total of 15. And then we'll divide that by the 5 numbers that are in the set, which gives us a mean of 3. Now we're going to subtract the mean from each data point. So we'll subtract 3 from 1, giving us negative 2, and then 2 minus 3, or negative 1. We'll subtract 2 and 3 again, giving us negative 1, and then 4 minus 3, which gives us positive 1, and 6 minus 3, giving us 3. Now we're going to square each difference. This helps us eliminate any negatives. So we'll square negative 2, which gives us positive 4. Negative 1 squared gives us positive 1. We'll square negative 1 again to get another positive 1. Now we'll square positive 1, which also results in a positive 1. And finally, we have 3 squared, which gives us 9. Now we're going to find the mean of these squared differences. So we'll add up all of our values, giving us a total of 16. And when we divide by the 5 numbers that we have, we'll get a mean of 3.2. This is also called the variance. Our last step is to take the square root of the variance, which was our mean of the square differences. So when we take the square root of 3.2, we get an answer of 1.79. So now that we know the standard deviation, it's also important to know what this tells us. A standard deviation of 1.79 tells us that the data, on average, is around 1.79 units from the mean. We'll find the standard deviation of the data set including 5, 3, 8, 3, 3, 1, and 5. Our first step is to always find the mean. So we'll start by adding our numbers together, which gives us a total of 28. And if we divide 28 by the 7 numbers in our set, we'll get a mean of 4. Now we'll subtract this mean of 4 from each data point. We'll start with 5 minus 4, giving us 1, and then 3 minus 4, giving us negative 1. 8 minus 4 gives us 4. 3 minus 4 gives us negative 1. And we'll repeat this with the next 3. 1 minus 4 gives us negative 3. And 5 minus 4 will give us positive 1. Now we're going to square each of these differences so we can remove any negatives. 1 squared gives us positive 1. Negative 1 squared also gives us positive 1. 4 squared is 16. And then we get 1, and 1 again, then 9, and we'll end with a positive 1. Now we're going to find the mean of these numbers. When we add all of these together, we get a total of 30. And dividing 30 by the 7 numbers in this set will give us a mean of 4.29. So now we'll do our last step and take the square root of the variance. The square root of 4.29 is 2.07. So that tells us that on average, the points are 2.07 units from the mean of 4. Here's one more example. 2 classes take a math test. Which class has a larger standard deviation? We'll start with class A, so we'll begin by finding the mean. Adding all the values up gives us a total of 402. Dividing this by the 5 scores gives us a mean of 80.4. If we subtract the mean from each of our data points, we'll end up with 0.4, negative 0.6, 1.4, negative 1.6, and 0.4. Now we'll square each of these terms and we'll get 0.16, 0.36, 1.96, 2.56, and 0.16. Now we'll find the mean of these numbers by adding them all together, which gives us a total of 5.2. And dividing by the 5 numbers gives us a variance of 1.04. Our last step is to take the square root of this variance, so we get a standard deviation of 1.02. Now let's look at class B. First we need the mean, so we'll add all of our numbers up, giving us a total of 400, and dividing by the 5 scores, giving us a mean of 80. Subtracting this from each data point will give us 20, 10, 0, negative 10, and negative 20. Now we'll square each term, which gives us 400, 100, 0, 100, and 400. Now we need to find the mean, so we'll add these numbers up, which gives us a total of 1,000. Dividing 1,000 by the 5 scores gives us a mean of 200. Taking the square root of 200 gives us a standard deviation of 14.14. So now we can see that Class B has a higher standard deviation, and this makes sense because Class B's data is a lot more spread out than Class A. Let's recap what we've learned. We can describe the variability of a distribution of data by using the standard deviation. A small standard deviation tells us that the data is close together, and a large standard deviation tells us that the data is more spread out.